Man, Caitlin she's a beast, man. Like,
yeah, Caitlin's amazing.
She's handed pretty much being the face of the.
I'm sick of watching Caitlin getting attacked. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly real fast.
For weeks, the flow of the WNBA carried a rough edge. Caitlin Clark took steady contact, heavy bumps, hip checks, and sharp fouls, while the league office stayed silent and avoided the discussion. The physical play kept stacking up, and the absence of action felt louder than any whistle. Fans saw it instantly. Crowds reacted. Online shows mentioned it briefly and then moved on. The unspoken message was obvious. Deal with it yourself. Welcome to the league. That feeling hung in the air until the quiet finally broke. Not because the WNBA stepped in, but because the biggest voices in basketball decided they had seen enough. Stephen Curry spoke. LeBron James followed. Luka Doncic joined the conversation. One by one, NBA stars with titles and massive platforms weighed in. This was not polished praise or media-friendly talk. It sounded like open frustration with no filter. The reaction spread across the sport from Seattle to South Beach, and people paid attention. NBA players usually keep comments inside their own circle. A quick repost, a subtle nod, then back to work. Crossing leagues like this is uncommon. It signals that something feels off enough to demand attention. That is why these moments hit so hard. Pascal Siakam pushed it further during a live television interview. Asked a soft question about who gets the most love, he skipped a long list of NBA names and pointed straight at Caitlin Clark. Made it clear that the level of support around her right now is impossible to miss. What mattered most was how he framed it. Siakam did not limit the comparison to WNBA rookies. He placed her next to Tyrese Halliburton, his own all-star teammate and one of the league's top guards. Even then, he put Clark at the top.
Man, Caitlin she's a beast, man. Like, and they love her. So I'll probably say Caitlin Clark. I love Tyrese, but she's another level in terms of just the love
that was not sympathy or marketing. It was an honest read on impact. That kind of recognition matters because it breaks an old wall. Clark is not being talked about in a separate lane or protected space. She is being judged on the same scale as elite professionals. That shift shows how much ground she has covered in a short time. Obie Toppin added another layer without chasing attention. He is not known for long speeches or dramatic quotes. His reputation is built on action, not talk. That is why his reaction mattered. It felt natural, not scripted, and rooted in what players actually see on the floor. Together, these moments show how fast Clark has changed the discussion. She did not wait for permission or slow acceptance. Her game forced it. The contact, the silence, and the response all point to the same truth.
Yeah, Caitlin's amazing. Super amazing. She's a great player. Having her be courtside and watching our games is awesome. We see the excitement that she has on the sides, but just like she's doing that, we do the same. Like when they're playing, like it's so much. It's a joy.
She has crossed an invisible line that once separated leagues and expectations. This is not about charity or hype. It is about respect earned through performance. When voices from the highest level speak this clearly, it signals that something fundamental has shifted. Caitlin Clark is no longer a rookie figuring things out. She is a centerpiece reshaping how the entire sport is being talked about. Trae Young's playful challenge was never just online banter or a throwaway moment. It landed as peer-level respect, a quiet sign that Caitlin Clark's release, confidence, and edge belong on the same bright stage as his. This was not click-driven hype. It was respect between shooters who understand timing, balance, and nerve. Fans would fill arenas for that kind of crossover moment, and sponsors already see the upside without it being spelled out.
You were hype about Steph and Sabrina. I know that you have spoken about Caitlin Clark. You're a big Caitlin Clark fan.
Oh, yeah.
She, of course, is an excellent shooter. Would you ever do like a Caitlin Trae three-point contest at All-Star?
Of course I would. I've gotten to talk to her too throughout her college years. We're the only two people that ever led college in points and assists. That's a crazy stat. I'd have to definitely practice a lot more than I have for these previous three-point competitions, nah, I'd be ready for sure.
Paul George went further by pulling back instead of leaning into highlights. He spoke from the view of someone who has lived the grind. Years of empty gyms, late nights, and little spotlight built this league piece by piece. Then, a rookie arrives and suddenly becomes the face of the entire movement. That kind of change will hit nerves. It is human. Some players feel pride, others feel pushed aside. George did not dismiss either feeling. In just a few lines, he laid out the emotional math of rapid change.
Gotta put it in perspective, right? These girls have been grinding to grow the game of basketball in the WNBA. They've been grinding to grow the sport to the world, the viewerships. They've been grinding for all of this. And then you have this girl that comes along from college and is an instant change. She's handed pretty much being the face of the league. There's going to be girls that are offended.
He gave Clark full credit for what she is doing now while also honoring the veterans who built the foundation. That balance is rare in sports talk. That is why his comments moved from podcast to podcast and lasted longer than a single news cycle. The same energy appeared when a reporter asked Luka Doncic a soft question about his favorite women's basketball player. Luka did not pause or hedge.
Favorite women's basketball player?
Caitlin Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, like Paige Buchers?
Well, she's okay. I didn't see her playing the women's NBA.
He went straight to Caitlin Clark. No qualifiers, no safe turns. Coming from someone whose rise from European prospect to NBA centerpiece reshaped expectations. That answer mattered. Luka measures greatness by impact, not potential or popularity. He judged Clark on what she is doing right now and put her at the top. That kind of clean endorsement carries more weight than a long speech. It shows she is being judged on the same scale as elite professionals, not shielded by novelty. What makes this moment tense is not the praise, it is the contrast. Some stars lean in, others step aside. That space creates friction, and friction fuels conversation. Clark sits right in the middle of it. She is not asking for permission or waiting her turn. Her game forces reactions. This is where the backlash element appears. Fast elevation always creates discomfort. The league spent years growing slowly, and now the spotlight is moving at warp speed. That acceleration brings opportunity, money, and visibility, but it also brings resentment and quiet resistance. None of that takes away from Clark's performance. It explains the climate around it. This stretch feels different because the attention is not forced. It is organic. It is driven by skill, results, and confidence under pressure. Clark did not arrive as a symbol. She arrived as a problem defenses cannot solve and a story people cannot ignore. That is why comments from young George and Doncic matter. They are not hype. They are acknowledgement. When peers at the highest level recognize what is happening, it confirms this is not a moment. It is a shift, and everyone can feel it. Direct and unapologetic from the man who rewired basketball geometry itself. That line landed as both a warning and a blueprint. When Stephen Curry talks about shooting, it is never casual noise. He followed it with a sharp breakdown, same release speed, limitless range, same flair when the moment gets loud. Then he added the final layer. She is the full package.
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. And then her just confidence, obviously, you can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot is like that. It's at that level. If you really watch, like, her floor game is as impressive. So it's kind of the total package.
Curry's approval is never random. His belief helped turn Klay Thompson into a legend and Jordan Poole into a max contract story. That level of backing carries real weight. Calling Caitlin Clark a basketball twin is not hype. It is legacy level recognition. The momentum slowed when Jason Tatum brushed off a WNBA question with a short reply. Favorite WNBA player? I Wilson. Full stop. No disrespect to Wilson's dominance, but Tatum not even. Mentioning Clark felt deliberate. It read like strategy, not a mistake. The same feeling followed when Kevin Durant was asked about his favorite women's player and answered Angel Reese without pause. Angel Reese. Reese is talented, no question, but with Clark rewriting records every week, the choice felt pointed. Two major voices stepping aside instead of forward only tighten the tension. Paul George called this early. Not everyone is comfortable with the new order. That resistance highlights Clark's disruptive force more than any praise ever could. Step back from the debate and the numbers tell the truth. Games moved into NBA arenas and still sold out. TV ratings jumped more than 400% from last season. Merchandise disappeared instantly. Nike could not keep Iowa Gold on shelves. Charter flights were approved mid-season because watching a generational talent wait in airport security lines became impossible to defend. Sponsors rushed in and rival players felt the shock. This growth is not gradual, it is vertical. True, greatness never creates neutrality. It splits rooms into belief and pushback. Ask Michael Jordan. Ask Serena Williams. Ask Tiger Woods. Ask LeBron James. The WNBA asked for real conversation for years. Clark kicked the door open and forced it into the spotlight. Every cheer and every hard foul showed the same thing. Nobody is indifferent anymore. The league can fix officiating, expand marketing, and adjust revenue sharing. What it cannot manufacture is passion. Clark ignited that instantly. The challenge now is balance. Elevating one rookie to cultural centerpiece can turn her into both symbol and target. The league must grow without burning its foundation. Protect Clark's health. Keep highlighting the veterans who built the league. Spread the story beyond one star. That means faster reviews, smarter marketing spend, and equal travel standards. Charter flights should be for every team, not just the Clark wave. The NBA learned this during peak LeBron fatigue. The WNBA has that blueprint now. Curry's comparisons are flattering, but Clark's ceiling is not becoming a women's version of anyone. It is becoming the first Caitlin Clark, a blend of Curry's shooting gravity, Magic Johnson's vision, and Patrick Mahomes' level cultural pull. That mix cannot be copied. She is doing it under harsher lights than anyone before her. NBA stars feel it, some celebrate it, some resist it, nobody ignores it. That is evolution happening live. Pascal Siakam recognized the love. Obi Toppin felt the buzz. Trae Young leaned into the tension. Luka Doncic stamped the resume. Stephen Curry drew the line in bright ink. Jason Tatum stepped around it. Kevin Durant pushed another angle, put it together, and the pattern is clear. Big shifts always bring push back. One truth stands tall. Caitlin Clark is not just playing in the WNBA. She is pulling the center of gravity with her. The quiet era is over. The heat is real and the league's future is now locked into her orbit. She is 23 years old with a 0.38 second release. The league asked for energy and got a full blaze. It is so loud and so bright that even the NBA has to pay attention. This is the moment where the noise makes sense, not because everyone agrees, but because disagreement proves the impact is real. Caitlin Clark did not enter quietly or wait for approval. She arrived forcing alignment, forcing tension, forcing conversation. That is how gravity works. You do not vote on it. You feel it. Every era has a trigger, a player who exposes what was hidden and speeds up what was coming anyway. The reactions tell the story. Praise from legends, distance from peers, sidesteps, silences, and sharp opinions all circle the same truth. The center shifted. Once that happens, there is no rewind. The WNBA is no longer asking for attention. It is demanding it. Ratings are rising. Arenas are full. Debates spill across timelines and locker rooms. None of this is accidental. It is one player colliding with timing, talent, and opportunity at exactly the right moment. That collision creates heat, and heat creates growth. Clark is right in the middle of it, not as a mascot or a moment, but as a catalyst. She exposes gaps in officiating, marketing, and infrastructure simply by playing at this level. That pressure is uncomfortable but necessary. Leagues do not evolve in comfort. They evolve in friction. What comes next matters more than what already happened. Protection without favoritism, promotion without overuse, growth without erasing the players who built the floor she stands. Get that balance right and this era becomes a launch pad, not a flashpoint. One thing is settled. Indifference is gone. Nobody is shrugging anymore. Every cheer, every critique, every sideways comment proves the same point. The sport is alive and the stakes are real. If you want unfiltered angles, behind-the-scenes shifts, and stories that miss the highlight reels, that is where Courtside Leaks fits in. This is where power dynamics, quiet resistance, and real momentum are tracked in real time. The story is not ending. It is entering the chapter where everything moves faster. Stay close. We have every angle covered, every leak, every backstage turn, every moment they will not show you. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. Stay locked in with Courtside Leaks, your home for the truth behind the WNBA headlines.